What in the actual hell just happened? Friends, I think what happened last night at the Honda Center was the first ever Disney Theme Parks The Concert. And I'm walking away with 13 announcements that you and we need to talk about. And in today's video, I'm gonna rank them from yeah to yes. And friends, I'm excited that today I will make my own huge channel announcement about Disney Horizons. But first things first, I gotta give everybody a huge thank you for helping me inside of 2024 double the size of my channel, becoming one of the quickest growing Disney channels on YouTube. Thank you so much to everybody for helping me get to the monumental 50,000 subscribers. I am so excited that you showed up, that you're going on this journey with me, and that you're proving me right, that there are people that want something more than popcorn buckets, merchandise, food, that there are people out there that care about the heart and art of the park, that are enjoying looking at Disneyland's past with me so we can better predict its future. So thank you to everybody who showed up and subscribed, and most importantly, thank you to all my friends in Club 1313. I love you guys, you're my family, you believed in me when I didn't believe in myself, and I will never ever forget that. Bricky here, let's get started with looking at what happened last night, and let's create a new chapter in Hey Bricky. But now with that very important thank you out of the way, let's get started. There is so much to get into today. I'm excited you're here. And friends, one last thing to celebrate 50K on Hey Bricky. There's so many new friends here that I'm bringing back the Vibes Overrides Bricky blouse to celebrate 50K. So if you weren't around in November, it's back in the shop. And thank you so much for supporting Hey Bricky and allowing me to do 3 quality videos every week due to your support. Okay, let's get into today's video. So let's real quick break down the good and the bad from last night's presentation, which Disney took to a whole new level as compared to years before. So the good news, as I see it, is Disney came to play. Right out of the gate, Josh D'Amaro set the stage. No more blue sky. Everything we're talking about today, there's already budgets, there's already plans, there's dates when shovels are gonna go into ground. Like, they showed up to play. And that's what a lot of us predicted when we saw that it was gonna be on the biggest stage that Disney has ever done, AD23. Last night was definitely not a keynote. Now, they definitely were playing to the much larger room, so the theatrics, the performance, it was all turned up. And that's good for putting on a show, but for die-hard Disney parks nerds like me, I did kind of miss the keynote style, where they weren't rushing through the announcements to get to the next performance, but they took their time and gave you more details. We don't know where most of these new announcements are gonna happen. And yeah, there's fun in trying to figure it out and getting the information in a slow drip, but I did kind of miss the slower paced, more informative approach. But I also kind of feel like it was purposeful not to make too many promises that people want to hold you to. And what I enjoyed was they really observed the fan culture. They talked about how we all use the lids of garbage cans, from Patrick opening up the sequence and showing the famous dude from the Soarin' intro that has to put those little guys away. There were tons of Disney Parks fans' acknowledgements, knowing that they were talking to their most hardcore of hardcore. There was 12,000 adults in the arena. I only saw 3 kids. Meaning Disney last night knew who their audience was, and they knew what their expectations were. And they definitely put on a show that played to a much larger room. And I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Too much Fortnite. The best thing about being in a live performance space is you can tell if they lose the audience. And during Fortnite, they definitely lost a lot of the audience. If you don't play that game, or if you're not from the generation that understands that game, that is just gibberish to you. And the fact that they went into Fortnite for so long and just breezed over, by the way, we're adding 4 new boats to our cruise line, that was a little bit of misreading the room. I was there the night before for the movies panel, and people got so excited about the movies. I don't know if it was day 2 and people were just a little bit more fatigued and a little bit tired, but I felt like they took a lot of big swings, but didn't land a lot of punches. Don't get me wrong, people were excited to hear what they heard. It just didn't completely explode the way I was anticipating that it would. And I think it's because the announcements kind of got to play second fiddle to the entertainment, which it should have been the other way around. And really the way that I would describe last night is it felt like a theme park concert. Right? Like it felt very much like a big show that Disney set up for such a massive moment. And they did deliver on that moment, but it wasn't flawless in its execution. Call me crazy, but I don't need two guys singing theme park news to me. I just want the facts, I want the details, and I might represent a small sector of that stadium full of 12,000 people, but I was excited about everything, but I also feel like it was kind of breezed over a bit, and we were always on to the next thing. And if you missed a little detail, it was hard to catch up. And I spent most of the time actually reading the teleprompter because that was more informative than following the show. I understand you got to play to your room, but also what's most important? The theme park announcements in my book, and I felt like it got overshadowed by the entertainment. I mean, what was that Deadpool part? And if last night was meant to be an audition for Josh D'Amaro taking over as CEO of the Walt Disney Corporation, I have been critical of Josh in the past, even though I have always been rooting for his success. And I have to say, last night's audition, I think he passed, and I think he passed with flying colors. After that presentation and the confidence and poise that he showed on stage and his interaction with the crowd, it very much does feel like Josh D'Amaro is the new face of the Walt Disney Corporation. And last night, he proved a lot of my criticisms wrong, and I was rooting for him. And I was happy to see him poetically get a victory inside of a sports arena. And friends, as promised, I have a major channel announcement. If you enjoy my Disneyland Forward series, well, good news. I think you're going to enjoy my Disney Horizons series, where I'm going to be breaking down every project that's on my list today the exact same way I've been doing the Disneyland Forward series, where I use my skill set as an artist, a designer, someone who's aware of architecture, somebody who spends a lot of time in the parks, and I'm going to be doing all of these videos breaking down these projects from these announcements to the completion dates. And the best part is, I'll be doing it all on location. Later on this week, I am going to Walt Disney World to start telling you each of these stories exactly where they're going to happen. This is just the beginning of a brand new series on Hey Bricky. Hopefully you're enjoying breaking down the art, the heart, the architecture of the parks with me. And these are 13 great new storylines that we'll all get to follow together. I hope you're as excited about this as I am, because this is the stuff that I love. And don't worry, we'll still be doing all the documentary style videos, all the history videos, because the way we're going to determine the future is we're going to study the past together. Thank you so much for signing up. Thank you so much for going on this journey with me. I'm excited to bring you the Disney Horizons series. Friends, my top 13 list is based on 3 different pieces of criteria. My overall excitement for the announcement, how I feel it fits into the overall Disneyland and Walt Disney World story, but most importantly, we'll get into the details of all these announcements in the new Disney Horizons series here on Hey Bricky. But today, it's pure excitement, pure possibility of dreaming what's coming next to all the parks that we love. Let's get going. Number 13. Number 13, Disney Starlight Parade. Magic Kingdom needs a nighttime parade so bad, but why I'm happy that this was number 13 is it was the only parade that was announced. And I love that because that's kind of an easy thing to announce. But having the nighttime parade kick it off at the beginning was great. But those are just easy little announcements they can do. So I was glad that there was one because Magic Kingdom needs it. However, I'm excited that there was only one, showing their commitment to big announcements, knowing that nighttime events can be saved for other times in the news cycle. But this was a moment for big announcements, and oh, did they go big. Number 12, a new Indiana Jones attraction is coming. And I am so excited that Disney read the room correctly and decided to make this a whole new story. I'm very excited to see what all the set pieces are going to look like. Even though it's the same track, there's a million different ways this could go once the Imagineers get in there and build this new story with all these set pieces and special effects. Like, it's going to be exciting to go on a whole new adventure with Indy, even though we know what the next turn's going to be. So as much as I do love Indy and I'm excited about this new adventure, it is a reskin or new overlay. Therefore, that's why it's lower on today's list. Gotta prioritize that new. Number 11, I'm excited for Encanto coming to Animal Kingdom. I love Disney dark rides, and Animal Kingdom could really use one. Mirabel's Casita coming to life is exactly what Animal Kingdom could use to put a little kinetic energy into a park that sometimes can feel a little one-noted. I think it's a perfect fit. Number 10, get ready to laugh at my pronunciation. There's another thing that I need to learn how to properly say. Pueblo Esperanza? Did I get that right? Friends, I'm putting this in its own category because don't let this announcement slip past you. The fact that Disney opened up a new land with its own story, original story, that's huge. Because it has been a long time since Disney opened up a new land that wasn't focused around one intellectual property. The fact that this will be a new place, a new story, this carousel that's themed after a local that hand-carved all of the different ride vehicles. This is an announcement for Disney theme park purists to fully embrace and enjoy. This is something people have been asking for, and Disney delivered. Number 9, let's talk Avengers Infinity Defense. I think I got that right. Not super stoked on the new ride vehicle, and really not excited about this being what looks to be the same ride system as Peter Pan over in Fantasy Springs, because out of everything in Fantasy Springs, that Peter Pan ride was the one I was anticipating the most, and it turned out to be the weakest. And you know, I haven't rode it, I haven't been there yet, so when I finally make my way there, that could definitely change things, but just perception from afar, it doesn't look like what I was hoping for this. An e-ticket attraction in my home park is always something to get excited for. I'm excited to see Disney finish what they started. I'm gonna try to maintain a sense of optimism that they know what they're doing and that I'm wrong for being worried. The fact that we're getting 4 attractions and not 3 is because one of them they made half as big, allowing there to be space to make a 4th attraction. I'm not going to think that way. I'm going to stay the course. Number 8, no one saw this coming. A Monsters, Inc. land coming to Disney's Hollywood Studios. I have just a sneaky suspicion that this might be built to the scale and the attention to detail that we saw with Zootopia over in Shanghai. If they create Monstropolis at that degree of storytelling with that sort of like realness and texture, no flat cutouts, but build a real Monsters, Inc. universe, that will fix a lot of what's wrong with Disney's Hollywood Studios. And the concept of the door roller coaster for the Laugh Factory, this is something that Imagineering has been kicking around for over a decade, proving once again what we talk about on this channel, and the reason why we study the past to better predict the future is that good ideas at Disney never go away. Awesome to see this attraction finally getting the green light, but as exciting as this news is, this adds a complete level of complication and confusion to here at DCA, because could it be that the backlot will stay Monsters, Inc. after all? This is something that we'll be exploring on the Disneyland Forward and Disney Horizon series, because there's definitely a play here that roller coaster could end up at DCA where the bus drop-off is. We'll talk about that in future videos, but start just thinking maybe everything that we've been theorizing is out the window, because this could end up not going away, but growing into a massive Monsters, Inc. full land and not just a modified cover up your mistakes attraction. This is why this is exciting. When Disney says a land, that I would hope would mean more attractions than just the roller coaster they announced, which, by the way, a suspended roller coaster for this IP inside of that park, this is another perfect fit. Hollywood Studios, a little bit short on offerings to make it a full day's park. If a Monsters, Inc. land means that they would get 2 to 3 lands, another restaurant, a little bit of shopping, just more places to kind of hang out in, that definitely helps put a little bit more time that you would need to spend in Hollywood Studios to get through it all. But a suspended roller coaster just sweetens the pot on having an attraction that you know folks are gonna love. People love monsters. It sounds like the thrills are gonna be there. This is giving me a good feeling. Number 7, a brand new Avatar experience. Okay, so maybe not brand new. They've been talking about this for quite some time, but we just keep getting a little bit more and more information. And if I had to guess, I don't think Disney quite knows exactly what they're doing with this one just yet. But man, oh man, does this concept artwork have someone who's admittedly not a fan of Avatar whatsoever excited about having another fully, potentially immersive land at my home resort. Now, I've become a huge fan of sole IP lands and lands that are pushed back into corners. It's when Disney does its best work. And I don't want every land to be done this way, but the fact there's a new one coming to Disney's California Adventure, even though it's not my first pick on property, I'm just excited to have a new place to explore. Now, if it is going to be inside of DCA, and I'm looking at this concept art, I'm hoping that this one's gonna go in the Disneyland Forward expansion, because I just don't know if this can be pulled off at this level and this scale inside of the existing Hollywood backlot. But this potentially, if it goes the way that it's looking like it's going, this could be one of the first or the first soft Disneyland Forward announcement, because the idea of getting the Pirates of the Caribbean ride technology from Shanghai here in the domestic parks is amazing. But when you combine that with this concept art and think about having another fully immersive land that you can walk through and just sort of explore and get lost in, and it doesn't even matter if you ride the ride because the land itself is an attraction, that has me very excited for the future of DCA. And who knows, maybe I'm willing to give these 8-foot Smurfs a try after all. Number 6, Stark Flight Lab. Guys, I already made a video about this. If you remember when I was trying to figure out what they had planned for the e-ticket here, I've been studying all these patents that look like they could have been for a potential Avengers attraction. And I found this ride system and I broke down how it works, where you sit in a vehicle that goes on a track and then you get picked up and placed someplace else. This was the wild card that nobody saw coming. And let me celebrate you on getting a 4th Avengers attraction, because there is absolutely no way I'll ever be able to ride this more than once. With extreme confidence, this attraction will get put on my one and done ride. But I'm excited for you that every time you ride it, you have a chance of getting a new adventure. And I do think digital rides make sense for Avengers, where they're always telling new stories. If they update this and keep taking people into new adventures with new characters and new locations, I think it'll be a success. And as excited as I am for a 4th attraction coming to Avengers Campus, I hope that it makes it feel complete, but so far, everything between Web, Infinity, and Flight Lab, nothing has quite felt like it's at a proportionate level of hype that Avengers deserves and requires. So hopefully these 2 attractions make this place feel completed, but I'm excited to see where they go. Number 5, a new Mandalorian and Grogu adventure coming to both Disneyland and Disney Hollywood Studios. Friends, this is exactly what screen-based, gameplay-based rides should be doing. They are cheaper to make, but they, I believe, require constant maintenance to keep bringing new stories after you've been on that adventure or been on that gameplay. After a while, guests just need a little bit more. Seeing a commitment to taking Smuggler's Run, which to me has kind of just been a dead attraction for a while now, this one puts another attraction back into my life. I'll be excited to do it. Fans will be excited to do it. A new adventure with this beloved duo, probably getting released around the time that the film does. Just good overall synergy. And I'm excited to see the Galaxy's Edge, its story, isn't over yet. This is a beautiful canvas for storytelling. And as we've seen, especially at Disneyland, the story keeps evolving, keeps getting told time and time after again. So excited to see another addition coming to Galaxy's Edge, and excited to see Disney actually updating a video screen based ride. That should be celebrated because it should happen to all of these types of rides. And after 2 years of teasing us and giving everybody Blue Bayou balls, we finally know what's behind Big Thunder Mountain. And it turns out it's a little bit of Disney's California Adventure. Number 4, an East Coast version of a Cars Land. This IP translates to the real world in such an amazing way. Cars Land is unbelievably designed, and Radiator Racers is my favorite attraction inside of DCA. And the thing that I love about Walt Disney World and the Magic Kingdom is just more of what I love. And so one of my favorite IPs making its way out there. And I love they're going with an entirely different vibe, right? That it's going to be an off-road race, and there's going to be a ride for kids. Very smart to take a proven winner and try to reinvent it and make it unique for this other park. If only they would have stayed true to this concept with Star Wars Galaxy's Edge, and we would have got unique Star Wars Galaxy's Edge on each coast, that would be amazing, but somehow Cars is the one that gets 2 different lands on the 2 different coasts. But what a perfect transition from Big Thunder Mountain into a new Cars Land. Going to be so excited to see how this one gets sculpted and how it all comes together. And then this, going into Villains Land, this back corner of Magic Kingdom, it's gonna be a winner. Number 3, Coco. Coco, where are you going, bro? Are you going out in the parking lot? Was this low-key the first Disneyland Forward announcement? Or are you taking over the Paradise Gardens area? I could see this going either way. A Coco boat ride is the perfect addition to Disney California Adventure, because a dark ride that's a boat ride intended for families, this thing has all of the signature signs to be a complete success and to make DCA feel even more completed. But possibly the most exciting part of this announcement is the 2026 groundbreaking date, because let's do the math. Either you can put Avatar in this park or you can put Coco in this park, but you can't put both, which means 2026 is what I think is the indication that we'll see the first groundbreaking 4 attractions that are part of Disneyland Forward. We all knew that Avatar was in play, but this surprise announcement, it just steps it up a little bit because there's not enough room for both, which means something new is on the horizon, and having that date of 2026 for groundbreaking, put it in your calendars. Disneyland Forward will start in that time. And the addition of not 1, but 2 boat rides for DCA that currently has 0. Oh man, what's not to get excited about that? Cool AC, great storytelling, IPs that a lot of people love. And if Coco's coming, that probably means that good food is coming as well. And number 2, Villains Land coming to Magic Kingdom. Let me break down why I believe that is the perfect IP and perfect placement. This was the one that I wanted the absolute most to happen. And even better that it's in the place that I wanted it to happen the most. So one of the things that has me very excited about a new Villains Land is that they're putting it in the perfect location, the balance of good and evil, but also pushing it to a back corner, which means they will be able to fully render out the outer walls of this land. And if the concept art is a tease of what's to come, I think we could anticipate something on the level of Star Wars Galaxy's Edge. They claimed 2 attractions, restaurants, and shops. And what I love about Star Wars Galaxy's Edge is just this immersive environment. I can stay in here all day. With this land being pushed to a back corner and being promised to be the biggest expansion ever of the Magic Kingdom, it has all of the potential to be a massive success. A fantastic evergreen property, the perfect location, the perfect overall theme and balance for the park. Let's go This one has me so excited. It went down exactly the way I wanted it to, and that has got me just pumped for the future of Magic Kingdom. And I keep thinking that this announcement would be even better if it was a complete surprise and we didn't have 2 years to stew on it. So I would have preferred to not know anything, but having 2 years to dream, it's awesome that the dream is finally gonna start to come true. But aside from the design that we'll break down in future Horizons episodes, this was a theme that had to happen in a castle park. The contrast of good versus evil will create such an amazing balance at the Magic Kingdom, and I cannot wait to cover this project over the next handful of years to see where this great idea goes. If they can nail this one, if they can land this one, it will be a game-changing experience. And for all the folks out there that think it's Epic Universe versus Walt Disney World, this goes to prove that us, the consumers, win, because soon you'll have Universal Monsters and also a Disney Villains Land. Everybody wins when the marketplace gets competitive. It's not a us versus them, it's what can we get from them. But let's go now from one that I wanted to happen to one that I didn't even know that I wanted until it was presented to me. And now I'm in love, I'm in love, I'm in love, and I don't care who knows. And now for my number one. Thank you so much for showing up, and thank you so much for subscribing. I hope you've enjoyed my excitement. I hope it's helped you get even more excited about some things that maybe you were on the fence about, and I hope you're enjoying today's discussion. But friends, you had to know going in that my number one was sitting right over here all along. How could I not possibly be excited about Walt Disney, A Magical Life, showing up at the Mr. Lincoln Theater? Is there a more perfect way to celebrate 70 years of Disneyland than putting the man himself back on his beloved Main Street? Oh, I love this. Let's break it down. I mean, just think about it. Not only is Walt Disney sharing the stage with his boyhood hero, Abraham Lincoln, but he's also sharing the same technology, the technology that he helped pioneer, the vision of the audio animatronic. What a better way to clearly define a magical life, that you created a technology when you were alive that later would then document and preserve your legacy, and you would become the invention that you created. I mean, maybe it's a little bit too sci-fi for you to think of a man that dreamed of robots and then became a robot, but in my heart, it makes total sense. And when thinking of ways to add more character and personality to Walt's beloved Main Street USA, this is the ideal type of creative conception that needs to happen. Walt, an animatronic, telling his story to many people that maybe don't know it. And I cannot get over the full circle trajectory of a man's life being the world's biggest dreamer who eventually, after he was gone, turned into his dream. I'm gonna say it again. Man dreams of robot, eventually becomes robot. I love that so much. And friends, as I announced, I can't wait to break down this project and so many other ones on the channel. Do yourself a favor, check out my Disneyland Forward series if you haven't. I've created, I think, a very unique way to break down future projects by looking at the past of Disneyland, so we better know where it's going in its future. Bricky here, thank you so much for showing up. I appreciate you.